I got that dog in me.
They're like my homie, dude. He's a dog.
Got that boys in me. You that dog.
I got them boys in me.
We're gonna make him do it again.
You can't show up like this. This is not okay. I'm a singer. Half of what I do is have hair, dude.
An artist flew me out to Phoenix, Arizona to complete his song in one day so he can storyboard the music video on the second day and shoot the music video on the third day. Did we succeed? Stay tuned to find out. It's about 3 in the morning right now, and I am just about getting done ready. I'm about to fly out from Houston to Phoenix. I'm gonna be meeting with an artist, taking y'all along for the ride. So I'm just gonna shoot stuff and hope it looks good at the end. Who are you?
Well, I am Selfish Vanity. Never kiss, face, and wink at the same time ever again.
Well, that's making it into the video, so.
Oh, I will never do it again. That's the one time you got me on the kissy wink face.
So this artist's name is Clay Pyer, and he goes by Selfish Vanity, and he has become one of my incredible friends. Housing me to work on his music was awesome. You know, it was a really, really great experience, and I'm here to shed, you know, light on what it's like to work with a remote artist and how that can kind of go and what you might even be able to expect from that. So just to set the premise, a little bit of the background on the song is that it's pretty much done for the most part, but I'm just going there to pick final samples, adjust tones, like the last thing to kind of get the song across the finish line and take it from something that's more of a rough idea to, you know, now this is final and this is complete, right? So that's what I was going there for. In the footage you're gonna be hearing the vocals they're untuned and they're unedited, so these are just the straight vocals that were raw that he recorded for me. They are the final vocals that were being used. I just had to edit them later on. Well, this is the final result of what it sounded like and what the music video looked like.
We will always be together. We should always stay together. Stay together. Let's be together.
This song is released, this song is out, it's done, so you can go ahead and check it out. I'll link it here, down there, or wherever you can link that thing, and, you know, go give him some love. I've used this song on the channel before it dropped to do some plugin demos, so if you've been asking about it, well, now you can check him out and have the song.
Stay together, boy.
Why does it sound like that? Nice.
Like when I was talking to that stranger at the grocery store who obviously did not lean the same political way that I do, and she was okay with me telling her about our bedtime routine.
It must be a big bed.
That was hilarious.
It was a really, really cool experience being able to go bond with 3 people that I've never met before and basically leave that space as brothers, creating the thing that I just, you know, showed you. So spoiler alert, yeah, we did complete it. We got it all done in 3 days. And even though I was there mostly to do quality control and to make sure the song thematically and structurally and instrumentally was completed and finished so we could shoot the music video, it was a lot of fine tuning that I felt needed to be done in order to really bring the artist's vision to life in the way that he was envisioning it. And part of that came from creative differences here and there, and, you know, as a producer you have to be able to tell and discern when those creative differences exist but they're not being vocalized appropriately. When you work on music, it's a really intimate thing. As the person who was hired as the producer for this song to kind of manage that vision, I'm always really, really keen on having everybody who has a voice in there to be able to speak, to be heard, and, you know, potentially test things out and see what we can do. It gets super psychological based on how, you know, their eyes move and, you know, are they jamming out? Are they silent when you're showing them a part? How do they actually just respond to you whenever you play something? Being able to pick up on those subtle cues that are a lot of the time non-verbal is really important.
You know what I think would be really cool right there in that last part? With to kind of play off the marimbas, like a tropical synth, like wham, wham, stick it, wham, wham, wham.
I think it'll be doing too much.
Okay. Mom's leaving.
He got me some Slinky Boys. He needs to give me some Yuck Boys. Dude, let's just like just delete the project file.
Can we just make every instrument a boing?
In this footage, as you may have already heard, there's a bit of fan noise, and I really do apologize for the lack of dynamic footage here. I really just didn't have another cameraman to do it. It was just your boy. Like, it was just me, so it was a little difficult. I didn't have a way to screen record, but at least you get to hear Shenaneggans, which I thought was actually pretty funny. I also just didn't want to dampen or hinder the creative process that was already going, trying to be like, oh, let's, record the screen and get this going. So if you like and subscribe though, and follow me more on this channel, and I'm able to get some YouTube shmoney, then I'll be able to hire people out to come out with me to film this stuff, and we can make this super dope. So that would be sick and really, really appreciated. But those of you who are always sticking around and honoring, kind of what I'm doing here, I appreciate you guys. I really, really do.
Sorry, this is literally the best vocal compressor in the game. Gain reduction by Joey Sturgis Tones.
Stirred.
Oh, like I'm literally just gonna put it on the vocals right here. It's actually gonna destroy our ears. There's a good one.
Stay together. Let's
Fills it way out.
Yeah, imagine this, but on every single individual vocal track, and not sandwiching a bunch of out of tune and out of time vocals.
When you're hearing this play back through the footage and you're like, oh, those vocals are like out of time. Yeah, they're out of time. I haven't edited them yet. Obviously, I showed you the completed thing. I just needed to, nudge them, tune them up a little bit.
Is it really? Is this really what he's using?
It's so silent.
Honestly, I don't hate that. I just hate how loud it is. I like the texture that it adds, but I don't think that should be like the star of the show, Riser. Let's type in Riser and see what happens. Ready for takeoff. Honestly think the Riser he has kind of just needs some reverb. It feels like it's just like sticking out like in a really weird way. Bro, that literally sounds like a...
Like someone driving off.
Yeah, exactly. The hardest ever! What do you guys think of the one hit there? Is that like out of place, or does that feel good?
Oh yeah, that's good. I love it.
Boing.
Tap the throat when you do it.
Boing.
Yeah.
They like a submarine. I kind of don't hate that.
I don't hate it.
This song is just a tribute to a boing.
Overall, the sound that we were going for this song was somewhere between a blend of like post-hardcore, metalcore, but primarily pop and EDM. Pop and EDM, they live together, and also pop and metalcore kind of live together, but pop, metalcore, and EDM usually don't live together like that. They usually don't, especially in the way that we framed this song. It's a really, really unique song, and Clay had even told me when he submitted this to Spotify playlisters, it was too rock to be on a pop playlist. It was too pop to be on a rock playlist. The same thing with the EDM, like basically none of the playlisters would take them. They're like, yo, this song is sick, this is awesome, but it's too here for the playlist. But that was the goal of the song, to really, that's part of, being creative, is trying to genre bend and really take advantage of this flavor and take this flavor and then throw it together and find a way to make it work. With Clay being a good producer like he is, and then him bringing me on and just, basically doing checks and balances, we end up with this really cool, unique sound that you really can't hear anywhere else.
Yeah, I think we need to readjust that snare that's right there. It's like stabbing you in the face and then no snare. There's just too much weird drum stuff going on. We gotta focus it.
It's a samurai sword, dude.
It sounds like that, dude. That's a good call. I was thinking this is where the acoustic drums start to like build up with it.
Okay.
Type thing. So if you're thinking like a breakdown. The wub needs some verb. That's been killing me. That tail ain't right, brother. What we can do is make, just really hammer that breakdown feel. We put the guitars in, and the drums. That way we can be like, okay, no, we're chugging like a breakdown. We're pretty much making it a breakdown around this, to where it's like maybe the melodies and this rhythmic aspect stays the same, except maybe with the kicks, we'll change the kicks to like match whatever the guitar is gonna do.
Yeah.
But I think the breakdown feel is the right move. I think it does need to feel like a breakdown. I don't know what that. It reminds me of like a dog panting with a lo-fi filter. Let's address this verse. Yeah, I don't even think that needs to exist there. One last little swell to kind of like tie it together.
In the session and this song, I'm using a bunch of my own personal assets and stuff that I brought to be able to just help and, lend a hand to really get this going. So some of the sounds we used were effect swells, little samples and stuff that I have, little wood block hits and like pop percussive textures. I was using my bass plugin I thought would be a really good fit for this, which is Colossal Bass. I use that for the more metalcore-y parts where there's going to be guitars. I kind of treated the bass and the guitars as one instrument for this whole thing. Anywhere you're putting guitars, you have to have bass. You really do just have to have bass in it. Even if you're genre bending, it just doesn't sound right if you have guitars and you don't have bass. You can have an 808 and it's just not going to sound right, because the bass and the top end of the bass, especially with distorted guitar tones, is super integral for, the guitars to sound convincing. But the reason I say guitar is because it's guitar and bass. They kind of just need to be together. But that was the plugin that I brought to the table for us to be able to use. For drum tones, we're using the original Matt Halpern GGD drum kit, the Matt Halpern signature, which is still probably one of my favorites.
Dude, that cockroach was terrifying. It literally got into every single drug we have here, which is none, by the way, don't do drugs.
As soon as you open the door, he's like,
He's like, I've been waiting for them to finish the song for so long.
That roach scored better than me on the SATs.
Yeah, because you guys weren't here, we decided that we win and the fill goes the whole thing.
I can hear it on the other one, but on that one, I think it kills it.
Okay, I agree with you. What do you want to do about this drum up here, the other snare? That's too much.
See, like, I think on that one, yeah, the second one feels like it.
It needs it
Yeah.
more.
Come on, Jason Richards. See, let's go.
Jockey Jesus!
Do you have a sock? Just something to tie up here, just so it gets rid of. I thought you were trying to show me the roach dead on this sock.
For guitar tones, the ones that are in the video that you're seeing of us in the session aren't the final guitar tones, but it was something that I was like, okay, I can use this for now. And one of the creative differences that ended up getting changed later on is that Clay wanted the guitars to have, less gain, for it to feel a little bit less metal-y, less post-hardcore. It's like, okay, cool, we can do that. But in the video clips that are here, we were leaning a little bit heavier, but we just dialed that back later on in the final thing. But I was using Jason Richardson Tone Forge, the Tone Forge version with JST. It worked. And I think that's what we ended up using for the clean tones. But for the final tones, I'm not quite sure if we ended up using that, but it was something at least adjacent to that.
We walk by this kid, he looks right at us, and he goes, how's it going there, gentlemen? And then I realized his dick's out, he's taking a piss. He's pissing.
Yeah, bro, we should have went with them. Like, what? We missed like the liveness of the night.
This kid was literally just pissing like on the garbage outside the front of the store. He was just pissing on the
crazy.
fucking.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
And then I saw another cockroach ran into a bush.
See, I'm trying to hold back from turning this into straight up gent. I'm scared to like make this heavier than it should be.
It should be heavier than it is.
If you really want it to, bro, I can give you the David Gent treatment. If you really want it.
Now I'm kind of scared and intimidated by that.
The tight chugs definitely for the chorus, the drop part.
Just leaving that open there. The pick of the pancake.
Whenever I just stepped into it was dope.
That's it. She had my heart in her Glock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hard. What if like dun 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 dun.
I would do that in a separate guitar take.
Okay.
And blend that in. Sounds like you want to do guitar leads. When you put that little Caribbean synth,
Yeah.
I think that doing what you're doing, but doing that as a guitar lead instead would be like super sick, or at least blending them.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that'll give you like that top end that you were like looking for to kind of like contrast at the end. Like I said, bro, this plugin is really, really good for that stuff. Very, very glassy, like pristine sounding, like clean channel. A little bit of analog clipping is actually pretty good for passive pickups like these, because an active pickup is literally getting clipped in the pickup. So as long as you're not like, you know,
beefcaking your thing.
it actually helps with the tone be a little better to clip the preamp, because it's not so like a spiky transient hitting the amp. It's more of like a beefed up transient that has a little bit of clipping. That way, that's why the chugs are sounding the way that they are.
A little extra spicy.
Yeah. We are gonna need a bass to be in there, like an actual like bass. Clay, you want to tell everyone what you're doing right now?
I'm trying to create a PNG to print out this metal design for my t-shirt, but I'm trying to add a QR code in an artistic way.
Dude, what if you just like Rick rolled everybody with this QR code? Clay Pyer canceled.
You can kind of see the organic, brotherhood and the creative space and how that fosters creating relationships pretty clear here. With this, in addition to just showing you the fact that, I traveled and, worked with a remote artist, I want to really like drive home why we do music and why it's important to always be not necessarily just a good person, but a friend, and how these things end up impacting how good a song can come out. That's actually huge. Like, you don't even think about it, how important the vibes are just with the people and the chemistry of the people, regardless of the ideas, but how that space and that environment can foster, real true friendship, and that allows any type of barrier that could be there in creativity to just get thrown out the door. And it allows you to get to that end goal really, really quickly in a way that isn't jeopardizing anyone's, creative input. Everybody at the end of the day is really happy and stoked with what it is, which I can honestly say with this song that dropped, everybody's happy. Everybody's stoked on it. I'm happy. Clay's happy. Nick's happy. Kurt's happy. Everybody who was a part of this song and this project is stoked on it. And that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. Some things that aren't captured in this footage, since it was a long day, we really kind of went in and got into the nitty gritty of things. There were certain synths that I doubled up on. Like, maybe he came up with the main synth idea and I was like, oh, it's missing some percussive elements, or it's missing some body, or whatever it is. So I'll create another synth that just complements and tone blend them together, and then boom, now we have the main sound. Same thing with the guitar tones that we mentioned, the drum parts and the drum fills. There isn't much of that being placed here, but we really went back and forth as a whole and as a group, because Kurt was the actual drummer, and I really wanted to see what his initial knee-jerk reaction was. Clay had already laid down what his idea was, and I knew what I was going to do, but as a producer, I wanted to see where is everybody else's brain at right now. I want to see where you guys are thinking, what you think is creatively really cool, and then I'll come in and we'll go from there. So there was a lot of deliberation on, oh, we need a fill here. It's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have a fill there. It's like, oh, this fill's a little bit too busy here. It's like, oh, maybe we should have snare on 2 and 4. It's like, no, maybe we should be on snare on 3 and let it open up. Like, we did a lot of deliberating on that in tandem with the electronic drums that were already there. So that was a really big portion of, producing this song that isn't really showcased as much here. All in all, creatively disagreeing is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and you should expect it. And honestly, embrace it, because it gives you an opportunity to be able to almost challenge yourself and be like, what are they thinking about? And how can I implement that? And why do they like that so much? And try to really implement it and almost go against the grain of your own idea. That's why this is such a great environment, because Clay's already a producer. All of these guys are used to music Like Nick and Kurt, both of them do their own production on the side. So we're basically all here and we all understand the creative space and we all respect each other's ideas, even though we just met each other for the first time. That's kind of the beauty of this whole thing, is you can end up in any one of these rooms and there's a certain etiquette about, you know, respecting other people's creative ideals. And even if you disagree, you can still arrive at something that you guys end up agreeing on anyway. And what results is a great song and great friendships. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you who watch these videos, who engage, who comment, who like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.